It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV, and welcome to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It is Monday night. It is time for the Rebels and the Renegades 360 Wing Sprint Cars. Tonight we come to you live from the Lucas Oil Speedway. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zachary Chapman. Zach, good to have you in the booth here tonight, and welcome to Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Monday Night Racing.
Yeah, man, it's been a couple weeks since I've called one of these Monday night races. I've been running some sprint cars this year, but didn't have very much success tonight in the C-Series, so figured I'd tag along and watch a good show tonight here with you, Brett.
Speaking of good shows, 16 drivers have signed in to the pit area here for tonight's racing here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. So we'll have 2 heat races, 8 laps. Everybody will go straight through to the main event. Then after the second heat race, we'll go into a 3-minute warm-up session. From the 3-minute warm-up session, then we will go to a 30-lap main event. Of course, that is just the first of 2 races here on Ultimate Dirt TV and here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for the Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5. And Zach, what a week it's going to be here from the live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Yeah, this is going to be a great racy track too for a week 5. You know, we've come from some bigger tracks so far, but now, you know, nice little small bull ring. You're going to see people be able to work the top here, you know, for a little bit to start the feature. And then I think you're going to see guys try to float in the middle there in the slick and try to ride the bottom as well as they can. But we're going to see a lot of different racing lines tonight, and it should be a pretty good show here.
Certainly looking forward to having it here live here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and also on Ultimate Dirt TV. Again, we're filling in for Marty tonight to see he's got to the... Well, he's got some real life stuff going on at the moment, so we'd figure we'd jump in, help out, and see what we can do. But the Rebels up first, and then the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360s will wrap up the night. Tomorrow night, a lot of action live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We've got some asphalt stuff, there's some trucks, and Wednesdays, you're back with some sprint cars, Xfinities. Thursdays, you'll have the 358 modifieds, the big block modifieds, and who knows, we might be able to get someone to cover the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series. But more importantly, coming up in about a week's time, it's the Dirt Alliance 10,000 cents presents the Flatline Racing Bodies World Finals 360 Wing Sprint Cars, Pro Late Models, and 358 Modifieds, all at the dirt track at Charlotte starting on Tuesday, 17th of October. We'll have the qualifiers, the first night of qualifiers. Wednesday will be night number 2 for the qualifiers. Thursday night will be a bunch of non-qualifying racing. Friday night will be another non-qualifiers night. Saturday is going to be E, D, and C mains. Sunday, which will be all B mains. And then Monday, 23rd, to wrap up the Flatline Racing Bodies, thanks to the Dirt Alliance, will be your World Finals main events with 360 Wing Sprint Cars to kick off the program, Pro Late Models, and then the 358 Modifieds to wrap up what will be a 1 week of straight racing. So, Zach, I guess Coast to Coast, no stranger to putting on these big long week events.
No, they aren't, and I mean they're a heck of a show for anybody who's listening who wants to join in. I mean, this one's going to be especially fun. You know, we're teaming up with it's kind of a C2C kid almost. Friday Night Lights. You know, a couple of the guys, they started here and they moved on over there and created their own thing for Friday night racing, and it's nice that we're going to have a collab together, and you're going to get guys pulling in from that league, you know, guys that run both and guys that just run this league. And then, of course, we'll get our randoms who are listening to this and like to race for charity. But they're always fun, man. And, you know, no pressure on anybody. But at the end of the day, most of us donate it back. We're just here for a good time. And I can't wait. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are just waiting on race control to send us into what will be the first of 2 heats here on the program. Here live from the Lucas Oil Speedway. And boy, I tell you what, you said you didn't have a lot of luck earlier on tonight, Zach, with this racetrack. What's so difficult to get around this racetrack?
Well, one of the hard where I ate my foot here tonight. If you want to run the bottom when it starts to slick off, you really got to get close to those infield tractor tires, and one of them bit me on the left front. So you're going to see guys going in trying to throw that slider and going to have to make sure they miss that tire, but I'm sure they'll do a better job than I did tonight.
Well, let's get racing here tonight from the Lucas Oil Raceway. We'll take a look at your starting grid for heat race number 1, the Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5, and on the pole position. Well, I'm not sure who's going to be on the pole. I'm not sure whether they are in the Sir or not, but let's do it this way. Let's do it old school tonight. Well, scheduled to be Roger Craig getting ready to line up on the pole position. However, he's just joined, I think, late in this one, so he's scheduled to start on pole. Donovan Ross going to roll off from the second starting spot. Then you go back to Greg Parmalee in row number 2. He'll start from position number 3. Oh, there we go. Now it's decided to work. There we go. Roger Craig, Donovan Ross will be on the front row. Greg Parmalee and Brian Moore Jr. will be row number 2. Row 3 is going to be Stephen Goldner and Gary Offord to make up what is scheduled to be a 6-car field for heat race number 1. But seeing as though I think Roger was somewhat of a late entry here tonight, I'm not sure whether he'll be able to make it onto the racetrack. And boy, talk about leaving it to the very last second. He makes it onto the track, and well, we're getting ready to go racing.
Yeah, he would have hated to join in late and looked at that session list and saw that he had himself a pole there because, it's really tough to pass here. And if he goes out and has himself a good turn 1 and 2, he could easily hold on to this, but can't sleep on somebody like Stephen Goldner either. I mean, that guy knows how to drive, and he's going to be making a lot of passes in this heat.
Well, we'll see how heat race number 1 is going to fare. We'll send him around one more time behind the iRacing.com safety car. Roger Craig, Donovan Ross again on the front row, along in with the second row, Greg Parmalee and Brian Moore Jr. And then your third and final row will be Stephen Goldner and Gary Offord. Looks like we are getting ready for what will be 3 heat races on the program. We're still going to have everybody transferred to the main event. It's just that instead of having the 2 heats, we'll have the 3. And we'll get ready for heat race number 1 as the field makes their way down the back straightaway here at the Lucas Oil Speedway. Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5 here from the Lucas Oil Raceway. Love this racetrack. The tyres can bite you. You jump up over the cushion off the racetrack. That can also bite you. We'll see who's going to come out victorious here tonight, but we'll see who will be victorious in heat race number 1. And Donovan Ross gets the good job as they work down into turn 1 and 2. Roger Craig go back to second position. Greg Parmalee, Stephen Goldner, and then Brian Moore Jr. 3-car battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Zach.
Yeah, they're double wide all over the place except the front, too. I mean, Stephen Goldner, he's really that line that I was talking about, real close to that inside tire, and he is making it work, feathering that throttle on entry and really getting on it off. Going to run it high, 3 and 4. Let's see what he's got.
Tell you what, a line that used to work in previous builds in 3 and 4, once the track gets slick all the way to the right edge of the racetrack, you get right up on the wall with Stephen Goldner now makes a move down to the inside, down into 3 and 4. He'll slide it all the way to the top. He will come off turn 4. He will lead lap number 3. Donovan Ross tries to fight back on the inside, down into 1 and 2. Your battlers for the lead.
Yeah, Donovan Ross with the preferred line in 1 and 2. But like you were saying, I think Goldner, he's going to move it up real high, let it eat on exit, and he's going to get that run off. But Devo's in a good spot here in 1 and 2. Not going to give it to him.
Here comes Offord, Gary Offord in the 94 machine, closing in on the battle for the race lead. Instead of making it a 2-car battle, he'll now attempt to make it a 3-car battle for the race lead. Donovan Ross reclaims the lead at the end of lap number 5. 3 laps left to run here in the opening heat race, and you've got a 3-way dance for the race lead. Offord moves by Stephen Goldner down the back straightaway, and Gary Offord up to position number 2.
Yeah, heck of a run for Gary Offord. He's just following Devo. I mean, you're seeing it now. Right now, the line is if you can shut it down and you let it eat coming off the corner, he gets it good. But right as I say that, Goldner gets a good run in the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, Goldner making it work upstairs in 3 and 4 one more time. Then we'll send him around one more lap around the Lucas Oil Racetrack. Donovan Ross in car number 02. Offord and Goldner work side by side. Goldner's got it down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Off for turn number 4. Check and fire goes out. Contact for the race lead. Donovan Ross will still hold on for a victory. Stephen Goldner second. Gary Offord third. Brian Moore Jr. in 4th. Greg Parmalee rounds out your top 5. And coming home in 6 is Roger Craig. There is your results on screen for heat race number 1 as we get ready for heat number 2. Zach, I'll let you take us through the starting grid for heat number 2.
Yeah, looking at the starting grid here for heat number 2, we got Jack Clevenger starting on pole, John Krupa starting second, Brandon Templeton starting in the inside of row 2, Joe Canella starting 4th, Jack Hitt starting 5th, and rounding out the field tonight, Dean Reynolds, after a big and busy Super Dirt Car week, he's got to be tired racing tonight.
Well, we'll see how that 79 car plays out here at the Lucas Oil Raceway again. And believe we're going to send him around 2 times behind the iRacing.com safety car, and then we'll let him loose. As looks like Joe Canellis didn't make the call, as I believe he's had some sort of issues there. So we'll see, or I should say, we won't see the 1 car in heat race number 2, but we'll still see 5 on the racetrack because the lights go out on the safety truck, I should say. 5 cars. Who do you like on this one, Zach?
This is a tough one to call, but Brandon Templeton, man, if he can keep it clean, he's tough to deal with. He should have had maybe a win last night, and I got into him in the UMP race. He owes me one. I'm rooting for Brandon here.
We'll see what the 31 can do in heat ranks number 2. He's going to go by your pole sitter of Jack Clevenger, John Krupa outside front row. Here we go, off turn 4. Green flag is up, it's waving, and the throttle is down, and we're off and underway down into turn number 1 and 2. Oh boy, look out, contact Clevenger and Templeton. Krupa, here comes Dean Reynolds from the back of the bus. He'll now move to position number 3 in your front row. Ironically, he's now gone back to 4th and 5th as Brandon Templeton leads away from Dean Reynolds.
Yeah, tough one there for Clevenger. He just left the gap, and it seemed like when he got back in the throttle, it just snapped left a little on him. And I mean, Brandon, it's contact position 2. Big wreck there, Dean Reynolds and them, but they sorted it out. But back to what I was saying, I think Brandon, he did a good job of just holding the bottom there in 1 and 2 and going where it had to go. He held his line, and that was a good pass for the lead.
Well, leader is completing lap number 3. 5 laps left to go here in heat race number 2 of 3. Here at the Lucas Oil Speedway, the Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5. Don't forget, we'll still have the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360s after this one. But right now, Jack Clevenger closing in on your race leader of Brandon Templeton at the halfway stage of heat number 2 into 3 and 4. 3 to go. Templeton slides to the middle of the racetrack. Clevenger goes on by. He got the moisture on the bottom of the exit of turn number 4, and he rocketed back into the race lead.
Yeah, Templeton left the gap open just like Clevenger did on lap 1, and Clevenger pounced on it, and now he's not going to look back.
Interesting to see how that bottom side line is going to work. Oh boy, Templeton really drove it in deep and almost got into the left rear there of the 78 car of Jack Clevenger. See how the bottom side holds up later on, especially in the back end of the feature race later on tonight. We've still got one more heat after this one, but the final 2 left-hand turns coming up for Jack Clevenger. He started on the pole, and he will win heat race number 2. Clevenger will get the win. Templeton home in 2nd. Jack hit 3rd. John Krupa will come home 4th. And Dean Reynolds, after some issues with Jack hit, he will come home in position number 5. And that will, of course, wrap up heat race number 2 of 3. I'll take a look at your results as they come up on screen. Clevenger, Templeton, Hit, Krupa and Reynolds, your top 5, with Canellis not making the start of heat number 2. Heat number 3 lining up like this on the pole position. It's the 91 car of Kyle Sargent to the outside of the front row. Steve Moore in the 888 from position number 2. From position number 3, it's the 55 machine, the SRC car. That is Brian Moore Sr. to his outside, driving the VMR Wraps, car number 25. That's Lance Ripka from position number 4. And your 5th and final starter in car number 69, the Young Gun Creations entry. That is Aiden Young to make up a 5-car field here in heat race number 3.
Yeah, Aiden Young, he's one of those guys. He has to race in the C Series like me. Watch for that guy to maybe be around in the A Series. He's only down divisions because he's been doing some real life racing, so he hasn't been on the sim with us as often this last year. But good to see him back racing tonight.
So if you guys want to get, if you guys want to be a part of the action here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, check out Coast to Coast on the internet. Go to www.c2crl.com, and you can register for the seasons. You can do certain divisions, and of course, you can do the big races, the big week-long races that is coming up. And again, the Flatline Racing Bodies World Finals starting next week. October 17th, and it will go for 7 days. Here we go. Final heat race of the night. Kyle Sargent, Steve Mora. We are green. Keep an eye on the 55 car, Brian Moore Sr. as they work through turn number 1 and 2. It's Kyle Sargent leading the way.
Yeah, they obviously, iRacing, this is random, but boy, this is a stacked heat. Any one of these guys you could see leading the feature tonight. So keep an eye out on this one. This is going to be a good show.
Ripka in that 125, the VMR wraps entry now gets down to the inside on the exit of turn number 4. They go side by, he will go side by side with Brian Moore Sr. Ripka moves into position number 2. He will take over the runner-up position now, sets his sights on the tail tank of the 91 machine of Kyle Sargent, who continues to lead the way. I'm going to say Kyle Sargent looks very, very smooth on the bottom side through 3 and 4, and he'll do the same into turn number 1 and 2. How long, Zach, do you reckon this track is going to hold up on the bottom side before people start to migrate to the middle or to the top?
I mean, I give it till probably about lap 11, 12 in the feature. It is going to move up, but you are still going to see guys who can really shut it down when they aren't worried about getting run over from behind and hammer the throttle middle off when they can find that little strip attack down there. But it's really tough to do when you got somebody behind you, as we saw in the last heat when Brandon Templeton got a big run on the leader. You got to kind of pay attention to your mirrors, and you got to be smart when you're doing it.
Sargent with 2 to run at the start-finish line has got 3/10 of a second lead, but I tell you what, Lance Ripka, boy, he is closing in, utilising somewhat just of a little bit different line than to what your race leader is doing at the moment. They'll come to the white flag, 1 lap left to run here in the final heat race of this event. Just remember, this is the first of the doubleheader here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and on Ultimate Dirt TV, as Kyle Sargent leads down the back straight away for the final time for heat race number 3 into turn number 3, hop for turn number 4, but of the iRacing flag gives a big wave to the checkered flag, and we are done in heat race number 3. Sargent gets the win. We'll take a look at the results coming up on screen. Kyle Sargent wins from Lance Ripka in second. Brian Moore Sr., Steve Moore, and Aiden Young will make up the 5 cars that contested heat race number 3. With that being said, the warm-up session is upon us right now. We'll take this opportunity to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV, step aside on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Come back in just a few moments' time with your main event here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. The Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5 from the Lucas Oil Raceway.
There's an immeasurable bond that forms when you join the service. You'll do anything to protect and defend those at your side, and pushing the limits of your well-being is all just part of the job. But when this shared experience ends, it's easy to carry that mission-first mindset with you and neglect your own health and mental fitness. Team Red, White, and Blue understands these challenges and knows that together we can show veterans that their best days are ahead by providing opportunities to build healthier lifestyles right where they live and work. Through races, service projects, workouts, and a cutting-edge mobile app, our members develop a sense of camaraderie and mutual support. With a growing force of over 200,000 strong, we invite all veterans, families, and non-military supporters to start putting their well-being first. Team Red, White, and Blue is forging America's leading health and wellness community. Will you join the team?
This is our wake-up call. These are our trust falls. This is why we rise. This is our walk on the beach. These are our greatest fears and our finest hours. This is our moment of silence. These are our brothers and sisters. These are our road trips. And this is who we are. Whether you served our nation or stand alongside someone who does, it's what makes us different that makes us the same. Team Red, White, and Blue. As long as the eagle flies over us, you'll have a place that gets you.
All right, welcome back to Ultimate Dirt TV and to the Coast to Coast Racing Network coverage of the Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5 here from the Lucas Oil Raceway. It is the Rebels and the Renegades. The Rebels are up first. We'll have the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades after this one, but more importantly, we've got our 30-lap main event scheduled to start in a few moments' time. So we'll go through your starting grid. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman as we get ready for the main event. Zach, so far, good start to the night for the drivers in this in the 3 heat races we've seen. No doubt it'll continue on during this main event.
Yeah, I mean, it's been good, clean racing, too. A lot of give and take. You've been seeing guys check up for another guy trying to run the bottom. Hopefully that carries over to this feature, and we're going to have a racy 30 laps. This should be fun here tonight, Brett.
Let's go through your starting grid. Donovan Ross will start on pole. Jack Clevenger from position number 2. Position number 3 will be the 91 of Kyle Sargent. Position number 4, the 30 of Stephen Goldner. Starting position number 5 with the 31 car, Brandon Templeton from 6 to the 125 of Lance Ripcar. From 7, the 94 of Gary Offit. From 8, it's the 217 of Jack Hitt. From 9, we'll see the 55 machine of Brian Moore Sr. start alongside the 09 of Brian Moore Jr. from position number 10. What a 5th row that will be. From row number 6 inside position number 11, the 5 machine of John Cooper to his outside. The 888 Steve Mora lines up position number 12. Position number 13 with the 4 car of Greg Parmalee to the outside. It's the King Race Design 79 of Dean Reynolds from 14. And we go back to the what will be the final row from 15. It'll be the 69 car of Aiden Young. And from 16 with the 747 car of Roger Craig. Zach, 30 laps on the board, 16 cars on the racetrack. Who do you feel and who do you fancy in this main event?
It's definitely going to be a test of patience here, and God bless him. Goldner isn't always patient, but I think if he can just be patient tonight and just bide his time, and when the top comes in, which I believe it will, nobody can run the top like that 30 car. So if he just stays patient, I think it's going to be Goldner's tonight.
All right, well, let's see how Stephen Golden, we'll see how the rest of the drivers will take to the racetrack. Joe Canellis again did not make the call for tonight's 30-lap main event. So that will make it a 16-car field here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Fall season week number 5 of the Monday Night Madness. As we get ready to go racing. All right, here we go. 30 laps on the board. Let's get dirty for 30 here at the main event, here at the Lucas Oil Raceways. We work down into turn number 1 and 2. Who will it be? It's going to be Donovan Ross, but have a look at Kyle Sargent. Immediately looking for the race lead. Here comes Goldner. He'll now slide it to the middle of the racetrack. It's going to be Donovan Ross to lead lap number 1. Sargent, Goldner round out the podium at the moment. Brandon Templeton alongside Ripk as they work side by side. But look at Goldner up the inside. He goes on Sargent down into turn number 3, and Sargent fight back right through the middle of the racetrack, Zach.
The way he manipulated that exit in the middle of 1 and 2, Goldner, I mean, he's doing it again there. He's finding the slimmest piece of tack down there to get that full throttle, and then Kyle Sargent was crossing everybody. We've got an accident on the track.
Oh, looks like we have. Let's see if we can find this one.
It's looking like Roger Craig got into Krupa on the entry of turn 1, and then Dean Reynolds got into him.
All right, let's have a look at this. Just fix out. There it is. So we've got the 747 machine on screen now. Yeah, as you said, just caught the left rear there of Krupa. Reynolds nowhere to go, so the 747 after making contact does a little 360 just to showboat his skills. But that will bring out the first caution of the night. But boy, I tell you what, Donovan Ross, Stephen Goldner, Kyle Sargent, boy, they're going to make a real fun race of this one if it stays green.
Yeah, the way I mean, it's nuts. They're playing their hand about, a lap before they do it. They're just setting up the guy, and it's a beauty to watch, just crossover after crossover, and the way they're doing it so clean. This is a fun thing to watch tonight. But like I say, I plan on the top probably coming back in and then we might see it get top dominant. So let's enjoy this while we can.
Well, we get ready to go back green this time by off turn number 4. Donovan Ross, your pole sitter. He'll have command of the field, so he gets to dictate on when the field goes back racing. Does he go early? Does he go late? He waits to get to about the orange cone, and there we go in the orange tyre, and he bashes the foot down to the floor, and we go back racing, as immediately we'll see Carl Sargent put the move there on Stephen Goldner down into 1 and 2. Keep it on the 31 car of Brandon Templeton, also the 125 of Lance Ripka, as they go side by side, and now the battle is on for the race lead. That 3-car battle is going to heat up once again down into 1 and 2, Zach.
Yeah, it is. Goldner's like in the middle in 1 and 2. I think we're going to see him go high again. We're going to have to see if he can keep momentum up and might have a battle for the lead here in 1 and 2. Well, we do anyway on the bottom. Kyle Sargent contact.
Oh, Sargent's going to go around. Goldner tagged the back of him. Goldner tagged the back of him. And he got in him just the tiniest little bit, and he somewhat altered his line. He come from the top from turns 3 and 4. And just thought that he may have had a chance to try and split the gap, but unfortunately tags the tail tank and the rear crash bar of that 91 car of Sargent. Sargent goes around.
I just don't think Goldner expected Sargent to be going that slow. I think when Sargent made contact there with Devo going down the front stretch, he lifted and, just to be careful, drove in real slow in 1 and 2. And Goldner, obviously, he didn't know that was going to happen. And he was trying to run that aggressive middle 1 and 2. And Kyle just happened to be there. Tough racing deal.
Well, it's going to be on the watch to see that 91 car of Kyle Sargent to come from the back of the field in this main event. Still got 24 laps to go, so still plenty of time to get back up towards this front of the field. But boy, I tell you what, he's going to have to go very quick. Listen, he's going to have to make quick work, but he's also got to hope, Zach, and we both know you've got to have the yellows on your side at the right times, because if you don't and it happens too early or too late, you're just going to give up those spots once again.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, the yellow's got to come out after he's already got the spot at the line. And, if there's a big gap in between him and the car in front of him, after he made the pass, that's the time when he needs it. He doesn't want to waste time reeling a guy in. He just wants him to be there.
All right, 6 down, 24 to go. Monday Night Madness here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. Donovan Ross, Stephen Gold in the front row. Ross once again. He waits till he gets to that orange cone and the orange star on the inside of the exit of turn number 4. And we go back racing as they work down to the bottom side of turn number 1 and 2. Ross Goldner follows him through 1 and 2. Now he'll get back to the top side. Keep it on Lance Ripka in the 125. Brandon Templeton as well. And now here comes Jack Clevenger in the 78. Going to make it a 4-car battle for the runner-up position.
Yeah, and we saw Jack and Lance running each other hard in that heat. I mean, he knows how to run the bottom, so this is going to be a lot of fun as we're 3 wide for second.
Templeton backed out of it on the exit of turn number 4. Looks to get somewhat 3/4 of the way up the racetrack through 1 and 2. Ripka, he's now got to the inside. He's up to second position of Stephen Goldner. Goldner back to third. Goldner rips a lip back around the outside and nearly takes over the race lead. Coming with him is that 31 car, Brandon Templeton. Look at this, the top 5 on screen. This is for the race lead. Goldner to the outside. Ross to the inside. Side by side. Templeton almost tagged the back of the 30 car of Goldner. Oh my, he can throw a blanket over 3-1 as they work down into turn number 1. Off for turn 2, and Stephen Goldner back to the race lead, but here comes Donovan Ross.
Man, you could put 7 of them in a sleeping bag. This is insane. I hope these guys remember to breathe and we get a caution. I wonder if it came in time that Goldner had the lead or not.
John Krupa got into the side of one of the 55 machines.
Goldner did not get the lead either. Goldner did not get the lead.
So just seeing there on screen, Krupa got into the side of Brian Moore Sr. Krupa went around. So Krupa will go to the back of the bus. He's missing that front wing. And, well, Donovan Ross, he's got to be thanking those lucky stars right now because he holds on to the race lead. As you said just before that yellow come out, you could really throw a sleeping bag over the top 7. There was very little in them between the top 7. But again, keep an eye as well. The man that's having to do it the hard way once again, the 91 of Kyle Sargent. He's only moved up a couple of positions, so he's up in 13th, but if he can pick off a couple of cars and get those cautions, like we said, at the right times, there's a very good chance that he might be able to get back inside of a top 10, but also he's got a chance at a top 5, especially if the top 5, top 7 cars are doing what they're doing. They're slowing each other up and allowing those back markers to catch up to them.
You're exactly right. And when, 7 people are within half a second of each other at the start-finish line, one mistake from the guy in second can wreck 3 or 4 guys in a matter of half a second. So, not only are you racing the guys in front of you, but you got to be listening to your spotter. You got to be looking ahead, too, in case anything comes out.
All right, here we go. Green flag back out on the raceway. Donovan Ross, Stephen Goldner again down into turn number 1 and 2. Ripka in third, but we stay focused on the battle for the race lead as Donovan Ross still holds on to it. Here comes Goldner back to the top shelf. He goes. He's gonna just try and live and breathe by the top side of the racetrack. And the top 3 now are broken away as Ripka. He's all over the back. It was all over the back of Donovan Ross, but again going back upstairs is Stephen Goldner in 3 and 4. I think Goldner's found his line figured out early on in this main event. 13 down, 17 to go. Couple of laps away from half race distance. Goldner back to the outside on Ross. They work down the back straight away, Zach.
Yeah, if you're Devo, you almost got to think you're running real good in 3 and 4, but Goldner gets that run on you every time in 1 and 2. You might want to think about moving a half a lane up and finding that piece of tack there in the middle coming off, because Goldner, there he goes again, getting big runs coming out of 2.
This could be the move for the race lead. Off turn 4, halfway home, 15 down, 15 to go. When yellow is out, Donovan Ross going to hold on to that race lead one more time. Just trying to see if we can figure out who was at fault for this little caution.
Aiden Young.
Ooh.
Aiden Young. He got in, looked like he maybe got fed a right rear a little bit. Maybe Dino didn't know he was there, and he just went for a ride.
Yeah, that's a tough one to call. On Dean Reynolds, they were 3 wide as they went down to the midway point of the back straightaway.
Oh, yeah, no, you don't expect a guy. If you don't see him there going down the straightaway, you don't expect a guy to carry a run like that on you and kind of run straight in 3 and 4. That's just 100% a racing deal. Not much either one of them could do at that point, other than Aiden maybe back off and check out.
All right, well, line up behind the iRacing.com official pace truck once again here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. What is week number 5 of the fall season for the Monday Night Madness. Rebels up first, then we'll have the Dylan Westbrook Renegades to come after this one. We're going to be just past the half race distance, so once we go back green, once the field goes past the start finish line, that will complete what is lap number 16, and we'll have 14 laps left to run and still anybody's game. Ross, Goldner, Ripka, they are the top 3 at the moment. Templeton and Hit, they were just a little slower on the restart. On the previous restart, it allowed Ross, Goldner, Ripka to move away from him, and instead of going into a 7-car battle for the race lead, it was just a 3-car battle. So really splitting it up. And one thing to note as well, Zach, tyre wear is an issue in these cars as well. You can't just hold a flat out. You've got to preserve those tyres.
No, you're exactly right. So Goldner, trying to work there for the lead as hard as he is running it in 3 and 4. He's got to have at least 5 to 10% more right wear than Devo does right now, and that's something to keep in mind later if Devo tries to move up.
Here we go, 14 to go in the 0-2 of Donovan Ross once again. Oh boy, Goldner with an absolute blinder of a start down into turn number 1, and he's got the run on the exit of turn number 2. Stephen Goldner to the race lead. He's still not able to get to the bottom side. This is where Donovan Ross and that bottom side now starting to fade away. Stephen Goldner will lead what is lap number 17 with 13 to go. Ross back to second. Then you go back to Ripka and Templeton as now they go side by side for that 3rd and 4th position. Templeton around the outside trying to follow Stephen Goldner through 3 and 4. Does so, move Templeton to the 3rd spot.
Yeah, you're just seeing the top really start to work in 3 and 4. Not there in 1 and 2. You're seeing the guys run the middle. There's a tacky patch on the exit, but in 3 and 4 it seems to work. And then as I say that, Goldner doesn't really hook up. Devo got a good run there.
Well, Ross got a good run in the middle of turn number 1 and 2, so slowly trying to catch up to the 30 machine of Stephen Goldner. Here comes Clevenger, here comes Ripka once again. Brian Moore Jr., Jack Hitt, and have a look, Kyle Sargent. He's back to position number 8, but here comes Templeton to the outside on Ross, so maybe the bottom side starting to fade away now. Goldner, he went down to the bottom side in turn 3 and 4, 3 1. Here comes Clevenger. Clevenger's found something as well. The 78 machine rolls to the inside of the racetrack. Ross goes back to his inside. Oh, Ripka had to back out of it. There was some contact out down the back straightaway. Oh boy, look at this. There's a top, there's a bottom, and there's a middle lane working here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. 8 laps left to run. Your battle is almost going to happen for the race leaders. Templeton closes in on Goldner.
Yeah, Templeton's he's got to run the opposite of what he likes. He's got to go where Goldner isn't, but he's still doing a good job of slowly reeling him in. And Clevenger, man, he is making the bottom work in 3 and 4. He came out of nowhere, Brett.
Certainly did. Ripka. Here comes Jack Hitt. Oh boy, Jack Hitt, there he is. That's the line I was talking about. Watch that 217 car rip right up near the concrete wall in 3 and 4. Trying something different in turn number 1 and 2, so keep an eye on the gentleman, Jack Curb Records 217. There he is, trying to get up very close and personal to the concrete wall. Couldn't make the move. There goes Brian Moore Jr. on Donovan Ross. So Donovan Ross almost slipping outside the top 5 as Clevenger Ripka's made his way to position number 3. Half a second, make it 4/10 of a second between Stephen Goldner and Brendan Templeton. Put your battle on screen. Lance Ripka, Jack Clevenger, they will go wheel to wheel through 1 and 2. Lance Ripka has got himself back on the podium with 3.5 to go.
Yeah, he had drifted back there, and then I guess getting behind Templeton and stuff, just trying to mirror that line. He's almost running into Templeton's tire tracks, and it's helped him out a lot, and he's trying to secure this podium position. But we're getting ready to come up on 2 to go here, Brett.
2 to go for the 30 machine of Stephen Goldner. There he is on screen, coming up to the lap car of Greg Parmalee in that number 4 machine. He's certainly going to get to him. Parmalee just slows up, goes to the top side of the racetrack. Once we get to the start-finish line, the white flag is out. 1 lap left to go. We will race it out to the start-finish line, which means he's already through 1 and 2. 2 left-hand turns down the back straight away into turn number 3. About to come off turn number 4. And your Rebels 360 main event winner is Stephen Goldner. He gets the win in car number 30. Brendan Templeton comes home in 2nd spot. Lance Ripka in 3rd. Jack Clevenger 4th. And I believe it's going to be Jack Hitt will come home in position number 5. We'll take a look at your feature race results coming up on screen. Get confirmation. Stephen Goldner is your winner from Brendan Templeton, Lance Ripka, Jack Clevenger, and Jack Hitt, your top 5. Donovan Ross, after leading probably a little over half the race, comes home in the 6th position. Kyle Sargent, good recovery in the 91 machine, home in 7th. 8th, there's going to be Brian Moore Jr., followed by Brian Moore Sr. in 9th. And rounding up the top 10 is Dean Reynolds. Then we go over the page. 11th is Roger Craig. 12th, Steve Moore. John Cooper in 13th. And the last car on the lead lap, Greg Parmalee. 1 lap down in 14th. Gary Offit. 2 laps down 15th. Aidan Young out in right around the halfway stage of this main event. And of course, Joe Canellis did not make the call for tonight's racing here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. We'll go trackside. We'll chat to our podium drivers, and well, let's bring in 3rd place here tonight. It's the 125 car of Lance Ripka. And Lance, congratulations on this 3rd place finish here tonight. And boy, what a battle you had with the top 5 drivers. You guys were battling for the lead, then a battle for the podium. Man, that must have been fun out there.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. I enjoyed it. Nice, good, clean racing from the guys up front.
And what could you have done differently just to be a little higher up on this podium here tonight?
Maybe not overdrive. Burn up my tires there in the middle of that run. I think I kind of burnt them off there, so didn't have much at the end.
It took us through what this racetrack was like, because there was a lane on the bottom side. There's a bit of moisture on the bottom side. Coming off turn 2, there was somewhat of a little bit of moisture on the exit of turn 2. Turns 3 and 4, there was some moisture up top. Talk us through what it was like in the cockpit of that race car, and where were you most comfortable?
I think I was more comfortable right through the middle, run through the slick and hitting that little bit of moisture coming off of the corner. I think both sides, both turn 2 and turn 4 had a little bit there, so if you could keep that momentum up, you're able to keep that speed up and get a run off. But that's where I felt the most comfortable. Down low was pretty fast too.
Well, Lance, congratulations on this third place here at the Lucas Oil Raceway course. We're not done with just yet, but before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 125 machine for helping you get to a third place here tonight.
Yep, I want to give a shout out to Spartan Racing, VMR Wraps, Ripka Designs, you guys for putting on the show, and everybody in the background that runs the league.
All right, Lance Ripka, home in position number 3, I believe. Zach, I'm going to just throw you under the bus here. Zach is going to be catching up with our runner-up driver of Brandon Templeton.
Hey, Brandon, Zach in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
First off, I brought it up on the broadcast earlier. Apologies for last night. I got into you in the UMP. You were way faster than me, and I should have got the heck out of your way, but... So now that you got a chance to catch your breath, man, talk about tonight. I mean, there for a while, the top 7, you guys were within 3/4 of a second each other. I mean, that was some of the best racing I've seen all year.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. I can't believe I made it through it with only a 2X. I mean, we were inches apart, so many times, and it just worked out, for the better most of the time. But no, about that UMP race, I figured out after the race that my headset was connected on Wi-Fi instead of the cable, and whenever I've done that, I have bad luck with stuttering. And so the 2 times I stuttered in that race, I think we were about side by side, and I completely lost my car at that moment. So it wasn't near bad.
Well, hey, I'll take that as an excuse. But Brandon, man, you were really fast tonight. Do you think maybe if you had a caution, do you think you had anything for Steven, or was he kind of in his own league tonight?
No, when he went to the bottom in 3 and 4 and started using that, he was really pulling away. I think that was the dominant line there. I think he said he found that, kind of watching Devo beat him there. And so I was trying to get the high side going. I thought I might have something up there. But yeah, as soon as the kind of late restart, it changed up a little bit. That's what's fun about Lucas Oil. Every time we race there, it seems like it's a little bit of a guessing game. Sometimes that bottom really works out.
Yeah, well, you guys put on a heck of a race tonight, Brandon. Congratulations on your second place. You got anybody you want to thank?
Thanks. Got to thank Jay for the Dirt Track Bank mainly. He supports us hugely with what Joe's doing on Mission 22 and Got Your 6 Racing Network also, so that's all cool. Hammer Down Racing teammates, sorry Kurt couldn't be here tonight. And hopefully he gets his computer issues worked out also. Brian and Joe, we're always talking tons of help there. Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, Extreme Images. You guys for putting on an awesome stream. Everyone, kind of doing the team. The multi-guy broadcasting booth is really a cool thing. It adds a lot of character and flavor to it. So we appreciate that. I know it's fun to watch back, but thank you guys for doing that.
Hey, it means a lot you saying that, Brandon. And once again, congratulations on your second place. And are you going to run the Renegades here tonight?
Yeah, I think I'll jump in and give it a shot.
Well, cool deal, man. Hopefully you get to talk to you again here. Congrats, Brandon.
Thanks.
All right, Brandon Templeton home in second spot. Now we'll chat to your race winner here in the number 30 machine. It is Stephen Goldner. Stephen, congratulations on this victory. And, well, you had to be patient there at the start, but, man, what a start to this race. But more importantly, what a way to finish up the Rebels part. You come away victorious here in the main event.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Really, that track was technical. You could kind of move all over in 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You could do the same. So it was a real good track to race on for us. Car was really good all night. Heat race was really good. Car was real good. So pretty happy with that.
Hey, you're able to move around all over the racetrack. You started at the top probably for the first half of that race. Once you got to the race lead, was it sort of defense mode to go to the bottom side, or was the top side just too hard to run up there consistently without making those mistakes?
I just think the bottom side was better, but I know Donovan there, he wasn't leaving the bottom, so I had to do what I had to do to get around him. Once I did, I knew as long as my car would handle down there, I could move down there and I could run some good laps, and I did. I think it was quite a bit better there on the bottom than I was up top. The top was pretty tricky in 3 and 4 to hit, but definitely, it still worked for us. We needed that run at a 4 to kind of get clear of Devo there at a 2, and we just went down to the bottom after that because I knew he was kind of beating me there, especially in 3 and 4 in the bottom.
You had a hell of a restart, Steven. Anybody who struggles with restarts needs to watch that restart, because your restart won you that race. You got a heck of a run into 1 and 2, and that runoff too, man, that won you the race. That was a good restart.
Yeah, I was kind of sleeping the first 2, and I just didn't let it happen there at that time. He was kind of not really going at the same spot, but it was in the same kind of general area. So it was close, but I think it was pretty clean. I definitely gotta, while I'm here, say sorry to Kyle Sargent. I mean, I kind of got into him there. I don't want to say parked it in front of me. I kind of was hoping he was going to slide up the track a little bit and I was going to go under him, but he was kind of sideways already. So I kind of feel bad about that. But
Not to cut you off on that one, but when you look at the replay, he made contact with the car going down the front stretch. So he lifted real early to not wreck, and he was real slow on the bottom. I said that on the broadcast. There's no way you could have known he was going to do that, and that's just kind of a racing deal, man. That didn't look that bad from here.
yeah, right on. I still gotta apologize. You know, he was having a good run going, and I kind of took that away from him. But you know, hopefully he can get back up there next week.
Tyre was a big issue here tonight. A big issue with the latest update. What we've had, I should say, for what has now been a season and a half. What was your tyre wear like after? What was your tyre like? Your tyres, I should say, like after this main event?
I'm not sure. I forgot to look, but I know I ran the earlier race and I was about 63% on the right rear. I think I might have been a little bit higher than that. I think I conserved tires pretty good, and then running the bottom, I think I conserved them a little. So if I was guessing, it'd be around 68 or 67, something like that for the right rear.
Well, Stephen, well done on the win here tonight. Where we've still got the Renegades to come. Are you planning on attacking the Renegades division?
No, I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. I might help my dad a little bit, coach him through some setup stuff before I go, but I'd have a bunch of stuff I got to do in about 30 minutes, so I won't be able to participate tonight.
Well, you go out to win it in the Rebels division here on the Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week 5 here at the Lucas Oil. Stephen, before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 30 machine.
Yeah, I got to thank all the Vanderbilt guys, especially Lacey, for the help today. We ran some laps. Velocity Race Designs, Ross, made my car look real good for tonight. Fits Perfect Photography, Moon and Racing Engines, you guys for the broadcast, Roger, and everyone with Coast to Coast Racing Leagues.
All right, there we go. Stephen Golden, your winner here from the Lucas Oil Speedway in the Rebels division. With that being said, we'll take this opportunity right now. Step aside. We've got the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360s to come after this one. So in about 8 to 10 minutes time, we will be back live here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and live on Ultimate Dirt TV. We'll play some ads, pay some bills, and come back with the Renegades with Heat Racing, followed by preliminary action if we've got more than 24 cars. If not, we'll go straight into a 30-lap main event. Stick around here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
This is our wake-up call. These are our trust falls. This is why we rise. This is our walk on the beach. These are our greatest fears and our finest hours. This is our moment of silence. These are our brothers and sisters. These are our road trips. And this is who we are. Whether you served our nation or stand alongside someone who does, it's what makes us different that makes us the same. Team Red, White, and Blue. As long as the eagle flies over us, you'll have a place that gets you.
Hi, my name is Mike Irwin. I'm 42 years old. I'm the founder and executive director of Team Red, White, and Blue. Previously, I served 13 years on active duty in the Army as an intelligence officer, and 7 years ago, I transitioned to the Army Reserves, where I still serve as a lieutenant colonel. I founded Team Red, White, and Blue in 2010 when I was a grad student at the University of Michigan. I had just finished up my third deployment to Iraq or Afghanistan, and I missed that sense of camaraderie, but also the responsibility to be physically fit. And that led me to reach out to fellow veterans, and we started getting the ball rolling with what is now Team Red, White, and Blue. When I think about Team RDB, our lens is so similar, and this is why we love Inside Tracker, is because it's really about the holistic picture. IT does a lot of focus on the nutrition, and that's an area where we need to grow, and why we're so excited for the partnership because we know that nutrition plays a huge role in holistic health, but we don't have enough content right now to educate the veteran population on how they can more effectively eat to drive their holistic health. So much of our focus in the first rung in the ladder for us is fitness and physical activity. It's really the quality of the experience that I've seen firsthand, you know, from the blood draw to creating, downloading the app, to creating the profile, to getting that individualized report, and having that concrete, indisputable, hey, these are the numbers, they are what they are, is so important, you know, to getting yourself to start making improvements in your life, is knowing where you're at. When I think about the life that we lead here on our homestead, family farm, it's very clear to me that there's such a strong connection between how we're striving to live our life and what we do at Team Red, White, and Blue, and what I've learned so much in just the past couple of months about Inside Tracker. The focus on what we put into our bodies, the nutrition, caffeine, alcohol, all those things, they have such a profound impact on our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health. And what we try to do here not only is to know where as much of our food as possible that we eat comes from, but also we're outside and we're in nature and we're moving our bodies. And the priority that I place on that in my own life is something that we're trying to bring more into the conversation with Team Red, White, and Blue, and also through our partnership with Inside Tracker. And so those things are increasingly important to what we do in Team Red, White, and Blue. And oh, by the way, they're things that the data clearly show us the veteran community needs.
Well, Team RWB really encompasses the spirit of what it means to be a veteran.
This weekend is all about Eagle leadership and getting together and learning about how other chapters do things and what works for them and what works for us.
It's amazing. Every day is a different event. We hike together, we run together. The fire pit was amazing.
And I know today there's going to be some sort of scavenger hunt, a competition of some sort, so I'm sure that won't end badly.
What's up, guys? How you doing? It's so awesome to be here. Not just an incredible place, but seeing so many of the leaders of the organization that have invested so much of their heart and soul and continue to do so.
Our mission is to really pay back to some extent for the debt that we owe to our veterans.
The spirit of service is not solely for veterans. It's for civilians, it's for police officers, it's for first responders, it's for teachers, it's for people that put the community before themselves.
If you're in the military, you're already part of a big family, but right now you're gonna be part of a bigger family who's out to help those ones who've been out there before, who need assistance.
Just enjoying ourselves out here, but at the same time knowing that the purpose of us coming together is for something bigger that's coming.
And so everyone here is putting their little piece of the puzzle together and helping to build this organization that's saving and changing lives. And I hope that you never forget examples like that of how much this organization means to so many people and your role in it.
Sherry, the flag is flying high tonight ahead of the opening ceremony, and it's made quite the journey to get here.
The Old Glory Relay, it's a really neat thing. They're taking an American flag from Washington, D.C. to Birmingham, Alabama.
Veterans and supporters carried the flag 3,100 miles and passed through 15 states.
And this journey has been walking and running and rucking and cycling and pushing and a little bit of everything.
Team RWB focuses on enriching veterans' lives, and the Old Glory Relay is our opportunity to display and tell veterans that their best days are ahead with a strong focus on health and wellness.
It's not just to show the grit, the strength, and the commitment of American veterans, but also to show our great nation that we can come together and achieve anything.
Just a beautiful morning in Tuscaloosa, kicking off the final leg of the flag relay for the World Games. It's going to be exciting to see that flag taken into the stadium tomorrow night.
Team Red, White, and Blue just reminded the world that life is a team sport. I am so incredibly proud of the grit and the perseverance that Team Red, White, and Blue members have shown through the heat and the hills, the wind, the humidity, the long days. Over the past 45 days, moving this flag that Noah just carried into the stadium safely to help kick off the World Games. Let's go! Team Red, White, and Blue is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to enrich the lives of wounded veterans and their families. Specifically, we support their reintegration by connecting them to fellow Americans in the communities that they live. Ultimately, we aim to transform the way wounded veterans are reintegrated into society when they return from combat and exit their position in the active duty force, the reserves, or the National Guard. More than 2 million servicemen and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan since 9/11, with 1/3 of these men and women having deployed more than once. In a recent study of veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, up to 50% of respondents reported some to extreme difficulty in social functioning, productivity, and community involvement. That's why we at Team Red, White, and Blue feel it's our time, our turn to give back. We propose a different kind of veteran support, one that is rooted in a deep understanding and willingness to listen to veterans and their families and to aid in the reintegration into society that they fought so honorably to defend and protect. Our special community of athletes, advocates, and supporters are all committed to serving those who have served our great nation. On Friday, January 28th, 2011, our call to arms was heard, and our special message was delivered by Lieutenant General Frank Kearney, Deputy Director of Strategic Operational Planning at the National Counterterrorism Center. He focused on the importance of giving a helping hand to not only veterans in the community, but their families as well. Wounded veterans need more than donations and words of sympathy. They need the support of the people within the communities where they live. So please visit teamrwb.org for more information on how you can get involved and make a difference in supporting wounded veterans. Welcome to Team Red, White, and Blue. Thank you so much for joining our team. My name is Mike Irwin, and I have the honor to serve as the Executive Director. When I founded Team RWB in 2010, our initial focus centered on veteran transition and reintegration into civilian life. But as the large-scale deployments have slowed down, the military's ability to support reintegration has improved, hundreds of thousands of veterans have used their GI Bill, and companies have prioritized hiring veterans, the overall mental, physical, and emotional health of the veteran community still has a long way to go. And Team RWB has a major leadership role to play. And that means that we need you. We need you to close out this video and to know that you didn't just join a listserv or download an app. You joined a team composed of real people, over 200,000 strong, who are veterans on active duty in the National Guard or reserves or civilian supporters. And these people, who we refer to as the Eagles, want you to get involved in Team RWB. Why is it so important for you to become an active member of the team? Because when you do, we know that it will improve your mental and physical health, help you to develop new and meaningful relationships in your life, and provide you with a sense of purpose that comes from belonging to something bigger than yourself. Over the past decade, veterans struggling with the invisible wounds of war and post-military life have told us how important physical fitness has been to them. Running has helped veterans battle nightmares. Triathlons have helped with headaches, and CrossFit has enabled them to sleep better. These fitness activities, along with others, have made them more confident and healthy people. Unfortunately, millions of veterans have forgotten about the power of physical.
All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Monday Night Madness Fall Season, week number 5 here from the Lucas Oil Speedway. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman as we get ready for heat racing action. The first of 3 heats on the program. Let's take a look at your starting grid for the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades division. John Hayne lines up on the pole position. Barry Goldner lines up the 36 machine from position number 2. We go back to row number 2 inside from position number 3. It's the 513 car of Jeffrey Barker to the outside. The 21 of Kevin Fry from position number 4. We go back to the 5th starting spot to be the 125 car of Lance Ripka to the outside. The 63 of Joseph Musso from position number 6. And lining up out of position number 7, it's the 217 car of Jack Hitt. 7 cars in this one. Zach, who do you like in this one?
It's going to be a tough one to call, but I think Lance with the track experience, and I believe John Hine has an EOL tonight, so Lance is going to move up a row. You're going to see him starting fourth there. And I think he's going to be a tough one to pick against. I'd go with Lance Ripka here.
All right, I'll tell you what, just to keep with the competition that we see on the racetrack, we'll have the competition up here in the booth. I'm going to go the 21 car of Kevin Fry from the outside of the front row. Keep an eye on the 36 car. We just seen his son Stephen Golden to get the win in the Rebels division. Now, of course, running the Renegades, it's Barry Golden in 36 on the outside of the front row. We heard it in the interview, Zach, that Steve was going to he was going to get that car set up and dialed in for his old boy.
Yeah, he's definitely been helping his pops out. I try to help mine out as much as I can, but I don't have near the experience or skill that Goldner has. So we'll see what rubbed off on Barry here tonight.
Keep an eye on Jeffrey Barker, the 513. But here we go, heat race number 1. The Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades Division. Monday Night Vegas. Green Fighters out. We're underway. Heat race number 1. Barker rolls the inside of the racetrack. Goldner in second position. Ripka in third. No change to the way they started. Heat race number 1. Oh boy. Tell you what, Ripka, he nearly got the inside. Truck to tie in the middle of turn number 3 and 4. Barker will lead the opening lap, but here comes Barry Goldner getting a little looser on the exit of turn 2 as they work down into turn number 3.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him in the last room. Lance is getting as close as he could to that inside tire, and I don't see anything changing here. He's got to find that room down there on the bottom to go, and going to try to make it work.
Look at Musso in the 63 car, ripping the lip around the outside, and he'll now move to the 3rd spot here in heat race number 1. Sends it deep into turn 1 and 2 off the racetrack. He goes. Kevin Fry gets on by. John Hayne goes on by. Hayne was scheduled to line up on the pole position, but getting it here well. Had to start from the back of the field. Fry coming after Goldner down into turn number 1 and 2. Ripka closing in once again on Barker. Barker leading 5 down at the start-finish line. Just 3 laps left to go. Look at this battle as Kevin Fry sweeps around the outside of Barry Goldner in car number 36.
Yeah, lots of good racing here. And Lance, he's trying to move up top here. He's going to try to get a run here on Barker. Going to see if he can get anything going, but I think he's just going to run out of time here.
Yeah, time running out to make it a lap and a half to go as they work down the back straight away. Jeffrey Barker continuing to lead the way. Did start on the pole position, has now just got 4 turns away from putting himself on pole for your 35 lap mate of it. Here comes Kevin Fry with a run now on Lance Ripka down the back straight away. Into turn number 3, off for turn number 4. Barker's caught the tyre. Oh, Barker, the front end caught the tyre, and that car just went straight. A broken front end for Jeffrey Barker, which means Lance Ripka inherits the race lead and will claim victory in heat race number 1. Fry will come home second. Third will be Barry Golden, the jacket. 4th, Joseph Musso, your top 5. Jeffrey Barker and John Hayne are your 7 drivers for heat race number 1. Again, let's just bring those up. There it is. Ripka, Fry, Golden, Hitt, Musso, Hayne, and Barker. That is your 7 cars. Heat number 2. What a way to start heat race number 1. But heat race number 2, Zach, I'll let you take us through the starting grid. All right, looks like we'll have the 2 car of Cody Graham starting on pole. Tyler Wilson in the 42 lines up at a position number 2. The 51 of John Short from 3. The 55 of Steven Spees from 4. From 5 of the 34 car of Gary Taylor, the 83 of Brendan Dittmer rolls off at a position number 6, and the 161 of Terry Landis lines up at a position number 7. So drivers in heat race number 2, looks like Cody Graham has been given an EOL, so that will move up the 51 car of John Short to the front row. So we change in the starting order once again. This time it's going to be the 51 of Short alongside the 42 car of Wilson on the front row. Anyone you like in this? Who do you fancy in this one, Zach?
Let me look here. Probably Tyler Wilson. I mean, you know, he almost won the points last year, and I love his nickname. You know, who doesn't like the Macho Man?
Ooh, yeah. Here we go. All right, you know what? I'm going to go the man on pole. I'm going to go with the 51 of John Short. You've got a little bit of experience with these guys. I'm coming in blind as well. You might as well call me Stevie Wonder with the way I'm coming into picking these drivers. Here we go. Green flag is out. We're underway. Wilson and Short side by side into 1 and 2. Short's got the run down the back straight away. John Short, your race leader, down into 3 and 4. Tyler Wilson second. Gary Taylor. Terry Landis coming through in the 161 machine. Stephen Spees back there to round out the top 5. Dittmer and Graham makes up the 7-car field. New race leader down the back straight away. Tyler Wilson takes over the number 1 position. Short goes to the top zone and gives up the race lead. Wilson will lead the second lap.
Yeah, the Macho Man knows how to get around. I mean, that guy, arguably a couple incident points and he gotten involved in an accident in the last race of the season. He may have won himself a championship, and he's showing why. I mean, he's walking away. He's running hard on the bottom, and he's making it work.
Well, Wilson looking to make it 2 for 2 for Zach Chapel when it comes to picks on getting the win. John Short about to have some company with Terry Landis as Landis goes down to the inside of 1 and 2. Landis takes over second down into turn number 3. Off for turn 4. Can Short fire? Can he fire a shot back around the outside of the 161? No, he can't. He just got the right rear just off the edge of the racetrack. And with 2.5 to go, Wilson leads by 1.7 seconds over Terry Landis. Landis showing some good pace here in the second heat race of the night with just 2 laps left to run, Zach.
Yeah, there's probably, I mean, he's arguably the best in the league at running the bottom. I mean, he'll do it at places even when it really is not working, and he'll still try to find success. And I'm anxious to see if this track wears the same as we saw in the B race. I think he's going to be competition for the win here tonight.
All right, off turn 4. Checkered flag is out. Tyler Wilson gets the win. Terry Landis home in second. Brandon Dittmer going to come home third. Cody Graham fourth. Gary Taylor rounds out the top 5. Stephen Spees and John Short will make up the drivers for heat race number 2. Let's take a look at those results about to come up on screen. There they are. So Tyler Wilson gets the win. Terry Landis home in second. Brandon Dittmer third. Cody Graham fourth. Gary Taylor fifth. Stephen Spees and John Short makes up the 7 cars for heat race number 2. Third and final heat race of the night. We'll see him line up like this. It'll be Blake Chapman in the 20 machine from the pole position. And the 7 car, Bob DeGood, lining up at a position number 2. Position number 3 with the 78 car of Jack Clevenger. To the outside, Jesse Atkinson in the 127 lines up from position number 4. The 39 of Patrick Spangler from 5. Chad Coate, the 11C from position number 6. And the 31 of Brendan Templeton lining up from position number 7. Zach, I'll go to you again. Let's pick a winner in this one. You're 2 for 2 at the moment. I'm not liking this. I generally don't get beat.
Yeah, no, I mean, this isn't really fair. I mean, I don't know how often you've got to see Blake Chapman race, but I don't care what car, what class it is. If he's on the list, he's one of the top 3 favorites, and I have a good chance I have a good feeling he's gonna win this heat race. And here in the future, we'll probably be hearing about some Galen's popcorn in his interview.
All right. Well, seeing as though you're going to pick Chapman, I'm not going to pick him, so I'm just going to go left field. I'm going to go with Patrick Spangler to start from position at number 5 as safety car takes the right-hand turn off the racing surface. Back to the pits it goes, and, well, the 7 cars idle around down the back straight away. They get ready to come to the green flag. Lucas Oil Raceway, the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades Division Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5 here at Lucas Oil. Green flag is out, and we're underway. What can Bob DeGood do from the outside of the front row? Not a whole lot, because here comes Jack Clevenger. As Clevenger, I'm going to say, this is a pretty stacked heat race, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, you got Patrick Spangler. We saw what Jack Clevenger did in the feature. He was real fast at the end. He knew how to run the bottom, and I mean, it's a tough one to call, but I think Blake, if he can keep pulling away, Patrick here, he's going to battle for second before we know it, and it's going to help Blake pull away even further.
Oh, DeGood came down the racetrack on the front straight away. Made a little bit of contact there with the 39 car. Spangler now gets clear of the 7 machine of De Good. Clevenger closing in now, or looking to close in here on your race leader. Half a second is all that separates Chapman and Clevenger as they work down through the first and second turn. Spangler, Atkinson, De Good make up your top 5. Coatland, Templeton. I'm going to say I'm very surprised at the moment with Brandon Templeton. He's been unable to move forward in this heat race, but boy, I tell you what, probably the toughest heat race of the night, and see the 31 car of Templeton having to start at the tail end, Charlie, of the field.
Yeah, when you got names like this in here, it's, you're lucky to pass one guy on this fresh of a track. They're definitely, all these guys are going to go out here. This track is not as beat up as the B event was. They're going to want to go out here, put a lot of laps on this in warm-ups, and we're going to see a totally different track here in the future.
No, we've still got 2 laps left to run. Spangler tags the back of the 78 machine. They'll have to stop, and well, they'll come home in the 5th and 6th position, as we've already got Templeton back to the pits, but the white flag is out. 1 lap left to go, and here 3-second lead for the 20 car of Blake Chapman. Spangler will get put a lap down here in heat race number 3. Checkered flag is out. Blake Chapman getting the win. Bob De Good home in 2nd spot. Chad Coate 3rd. 4th, we'll go to Jesse Atkinson, running at your top 5. He's going to be Jack Clevenger with Patrick Spangler, 1 lap down, and Brandon Templeton. He will also be a couple of laps down in position number 7. So we'll show those results for heat race number 3 as we wait for the session to roll over into the warm-up. Seeing as though we had a field of 21 drivers, here is your results for heat 3. Chapman, De Good, Coate, your top 3. Atkinson, Clevenger make up your top 5. Spangler and Templeton, the top 7. We'll take a quick opportunity to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network one final time before our 35 lap main event here from the Lucas Oil Raceway. You're watching the Dylan Westbrook Racing 360 Renegades Division live on Ultimate Dirt TV and live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Welcome to Team Red, White, and Blue. Thank you so much for joining our team. My name is Mike Irwin, and I have the honor to serve as the Executive Director. When I founded Team RWB in 2010, our initial focus centered on veteran transition and reintegration into civilian life. But as the large-scale deployments have slowed down, the military's ability to support reintegration has improved, hundreds of thousands of veterans have used their GI Bill, and companies have prioritized hiring veterans, the overall mental, physical, and emotional health of the veteran community still has a long way to go. And Team RWB has a major leadership role to play. And that means that we need you. We need you to close out this video and to know that you didn't just join a listserv or download an app. You joined a team composed of real people, over 200,000 strong, who are veterans on active duty in the National Guard or reserves or civilian supporters. And these people, who we refer to as Eagles, want you to get involved in Team RWB. Why is it so important for you to become an active member of the team? Because when you do, we know that it will improve your mental and physical health, help you to develop new and meaningful relationships in your life, and provide you with a sense of purpose that comes from belonging to something bigger than yourself. Over the past decade, veterans struggling with the invisible wounds of war and post-military life have told us how important physical fitness has been to them. Running has helped veterans battle nightmares. Triathlons have helped with headaches, and CrossFit has enabled them to sleep better. These fitness activities, along with others, have made them more confident and healthy people. Unfortunately, millions of veterans have forgotten about the power of physical training in their lives. So as you get involved and see the power of Team RWB in your own life, I hope that you feel inspired to reach out to other veterans and encourage them to follow in your footsteps. In closing, I want to again thank you for stepping forward and joining Team Red, White, and Blue. We're fired up to have you on the team, and I know that you're going to be flying the Eagle with pride for a long time.
All right, we are back here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for the Monday Night Madness Sprint Cars. It's the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades Division live from the Lucas Oil Raceway. Our 35-lap main event is about to start, but first, Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman as we get ready to take a look at your starting lineup on screen. On the pole position will be the 125 of Lance Ripka. To the outside of the front row, it's Tyler Wilson, car number 42. We go back to the second row, position number 3, the 20 car of Blake Chapman. From 4, it's the 21 of Kevin Fry. From 5, it's the 161 of Terry Landis. From 6, it's car 7 of Bob DeGood. From 7, it's the 36 of Barry Goldner. From 8, the 83 of Brandon Dittmar. From 9, the 11C of Chad Coate. From 10, the 217 of Jack Hitt. From 11, the 2 car of Cody Graham. From 12, the 127 of Jesse Atkinson. From 13, the 63 of Joseph Musso. The 34 of Gary Taylor. From 14. From 15, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. From 16, the 71 of John Hain. From 17, the 55 of Stephen Spees. From 18, the 39 of Patrick Spangler. From 19, the 513 of Jeffrey Barker. From 20th, the 51 of John Short. And your 21st and final starter, car number 31 of Brandon Templeton. Zach, we've done it in the first 3 heat races. We'll do it again for the feature. Who have you got to pick up the main event victory?
Man, really tough to pick against a salesman, Blake Chapman. I think he's going to secure the win. He really likes the bottom feed. And look for Terry Landis, maybe a surprise podium tonight to follow Blake there, his teammate.
All right, well, I'll pick him again. I'll pick the 21 car of Kevin Fry to go to victory lane here tonight. 35 laps on the board, 21 cars. The Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades 360 Wing Sprint Cars live from the Lucas Oil Raceway. Monday Night Madness Fall Season Week number 5. The field rolls up for turn number 4. Let's go live for 35 here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. We are green as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. Ripka and Wilson. Ripka's got the run. He's got the lead down into turn number 3. Here comes Wilson trying to make a run on the inside off for turn number 4. Lap number 1 belongs to Lance Ripka. He goes to the middle. Here comes Wilson back to the inside. Chapman just watching these two guys battle it out in the opening lap and a half as here comes Wilson looking to slide up, but no, Ripka is still going to hold strong on the middle side of the racetrack. And now look at this. We go back even further. Bob DeGood, Stephen Goldner. Barry Goldner, Terry Landis, Kevin Fry, they're 2 by 2, 3 wide behind him. Here comes the 83 of Dittmar to the outside of the 217 car of Hitt. And Chad Coate was on the bottom of 3 wide battle in the opening 4 laps. That boy, there is a whole lot of action here at the Lucas Oil Raceway.
And we got a caution.
Is that Barker in the 513 car? It is.
Yeah.
So we take a look at the replay coming up on screen. Oh, he just
started ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had nowhere to go. I'm looking at Gary Taylor in the 34. Came down into the 78 car of Clevenger. And unfortunately for Barker, Barker just literally left with nowhere to go. Stephen Spees involved in that one as well. Just a case of unable to check up in time. These guys carry a fair bit of speed, and to pull these cars up, it can be very difficult at some stages, especially when the track is slick, Zach.
Yeah, it really can, and for anybody who doesn't drive these a lot, you slam the brakes in these things, you're just going to spin out yourself. So it's a fine line. You kind of need to drag the brake a little bit while you're on the gas to slow down. Because if, like you said too, I mean, if you let completely out of the throttle and you try to turn left, these things don't turn that well unless they're under power. You need that left rear tire biting to help these things turn. So it's really tough to manipulate your way through an accident.
We'll see what pace track is going to go up. We'll see what happens here in the remaining 31 laps here at the Lucas Oil. Yep.
Lance must like the bottom for restarts because when they were racing, he was running the middle there, kind of keeping Tyler Wilson here. But on the restart, he had choice of lane, and he's going to the bottom here. It's interesting.
Could be something that he sort of picked up on the restarts there on the previous in the Rebels division. But here we go, down into 1 and 2, maybe starting on the outside. He was unable to get to the bottom or to the middle of the racetrack where we've seen him go. Speaking of going back to the bottom, it's Blake Chapman now going to challenge Tyler Wilson, as Wilson has to send her upstairs and just let her read. Chapman's got second at the start-finish line, so even if we go yellow right now, that'll put Blake Chapman on the outside of the front row. But here comes Tyler Wilson back to the outside. We've seen this in the early parts, probably the early 10 to 15 laps of the Rebels division earlier on.
Yeah, there's definitely we've got more left on the top side in 3 and 4, which is making it a lot better two-wide race, and you can really get the top to work. So you're seeing Tyler get that big run, and we might have a battle for the lead here in a couple laps.
Watching Bob DeGood right now. Kevin Fry going to the outside, trying to go to the outside of Terry Landis to move up to position number 4, but Fry has to settle for 5th position. Yellow is out. Dittmer in the 83 and the 127 car of Jesse Atkinson. 2 cars stuck together there on the back straight away, and I believe it all started on the exit of turn number 2. DeGood and Atkinson got together. DeGood goes around. Dittmer tried to get up the inside, nowhere to go, and the 2 cars got stuck together, and well, that's how you make a lightning sprint.
Yeah, these short tracks, stuff happens quick, and Brandon, he tried to fit in a gap. He thought he could maybe steal 2 positions, but it closed up real quick.
So going back to the double file restarts, 2 to green for the moment. What will be 8 laps complete, 27 to go for your Monday Night Madness Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades division. The final race tonight. Again, normally Marty covers this one, but Marty got some real life stuff covered in. So myself, Brett Wheeler, alongside Zach Chapman here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Don't forget, check out Coast to Coast on the social media page and also on the internet. Go to www.c2crl.com for more information if you want to get involved in this wonderful league. Broadcasting, I want to say it's 5 nights a week. I think it is. It might even be, I think it's 5 nights a week there is. It's something like 22 divisions or 20 divisions that gets broadcasted. So a lot of money gets invested into broadcasting and putting on these events. But 8 down, 27 to go. Lance Ripka, Tyler Wilson, front row, and again a very late start for the 125 car of Lance Ripka. And he gets to the middle, he gets to that preferred line. Terry Landis now. Here comes Golden Barry Golden around the outside of Kevin Fry as they work down the back straight away.
Yeah, Barry Goldner, man. Must have took that advice from Steven, watch his son race a little bit, because he's making it work up there, making it drive just like Steven was.
Oh, Golden's got Fry again. Fry back to the inside. And now behind them, Chad Coate and Jack Hitt. They will go side by side. Chapman trying to close in once again right now on Tyler Wilson in the 42 cars. Your race leader, Lance Ripka, 10 down. He's just rolled the middle part of the racetrack through 1 and 2. He'll do the same down into 3 and 4. But here comes Tyler Wilson. Wilson carrying a whole lot of speed and momentum on the top side of 3 and 4. Tries to get back down to the inside of turn number 1 and 2. And now coming after your race leader. I think Tyler Wilson's found the line here early on, Zach.
Yeah, the Macho Man's quick right now, and I'm wondering, going back to Lance's broadcast interview with us, he said he burned up that right rear tire too early. I'm wondering if he's just trying to take it easy, or if he's giving it all he's got right now. Because if he's taking it easy, it's time to turn the wick up here.
Oh. We've completed 13 laps. Wilson now goes to the inside on Ripka. Ripka through the middle of the racetrack. Just here right of screen goes the 20 car Blake Chapman. So this race still heating up for your race leader. Lance Ripka, Tyler Wilson, Blake Chapman, Terry Landis as well. All within a second of the race leader. Oh boy, up and over the racetrack. Off goes its 42 car of Wilson. Opens up the door for Blake Chapman in the 20 car. Just as that door is opened up, it will quickly get shut because the yellow flag comes out. And boy, a little bit of a lucky break there for the 42 car of Tyler Wilson. Although he didn't technically lose a spot, but man, he really had an opportunity for Blake Chapman to go on by in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, not just that, like you were saying, he was going to have to really get on it to not let Blake go by. And then, he lost probably 3 laps worth of time that he made up on Lance. So, real lucky to get that break when he did.
All right, so 20 laps remaining. 15 down is what we'll be at once we go back to green here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Your Monday Night Madness Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades division. 2 to green at the moment, so the light's still on the iRacing.com safety car. Again, Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zachary Chapman here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Still plenty of action this week to come for full season week number 5. And then, of course, next week is going to be the big one, the Flatline Racing Bodies World Finals. Thanks to everybody that has been able to get everybody involved in that one, and really looking forward to 360 sprint cars, pro late models, and the 358s. Again, it's a full week of racing, all live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Safety car goes off the field, is doubled up 2x2. Have a look at the 39 car just sneaking into the top 5, by the way, too, Zach. The 39 of Patrick Spangler. He is going to be one to watch, especially with 20 laps left to run.
Oh, yeah, him and the Macho Man are teammates. If one's fast, the other's fast. They're a fun pair to watch as we go green here.
Green is back out. We watch the 42 car of Wilson trying to run down your race leader of Lance Ripka. Meanwhile, Terry Landers and Patrick Spangler, they come after Blake Chapman, but Chapman is going to get a little bit of a lucky break there. As the yellow will immediately come back out, which realistically, Zach, should put us into a single file restart, considering that we did not get a lap complete.
Yeah, Jeff Barker looked like got into John Short a little bit.
Let's see if we can bring that one up. No, let's look at Barker. Oh. Let's try to bring this up here. Oh, yeah. In the middle of 1 and 2. Boy, Barker's not having... Barker's not having a good time here tonight.
No, definitely. I mean, this is one of those tracks where, I mean, we saw it. I was talking about a little bit in the heat and the B, where, like, you're going to have people that try to drive in real hard. And, yeah, they're going to make up time on corner entry, but then you're going to see other guys walk away on exit, and it's real tough to want to run your line that you want to run when you're behind somebody. So you got to, it's tough here at these small tracks.
All right,
like you said, single file restart here.
Yeah, all right, safety car is off, single file restart coming out, 19 laps left to run. Ripka, your race leader. From Wilson, Chapman, Landis, Spangler, your top 5. Golden, the Fry, Graham, Hit, and Short, your top 10. Ripka again, a slow pace at start-finish line. The bite of the Racing flagman gets up and down the green flag waves, and we are back underway here in the main event. And we're about a lap and a half away from half race distance. And now Blake Chapman, he's figured, well, the bottom side wasn't working. And quickly, once again, we go yellow. So midway point of this race, just struggling for some drivers. Jesse Atkinson in the 127 machine stopped in the middle of 1 and 2. Well, it's getting tricky out here for some of these drivers right now, but tell you what, the racetrack very similar to what we've seen in the Rebels division too, Zach.
Yeah, it is, and that's I think now you're seeing guys run in as real hard on the bottom like they were in warm-ups or at the end of their heats, and you just can't do that anymore. If you really want to hook up on the bottom, you got to slow it down like Jesse tried to do there, and he just got caught from behind. It's tough if you're Jesse. You're doing what you got to do, and you just get run over from behind.
All right, well, we'll go back green. Shows in the middle of trying to type and trying to talk at the same time about two different things. You ever tried doing that?
Yeah, it's I had trouble earlier getting rid of an overlay and talking to you at the same time. So yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to have two different conversations, and the mind wasn't comprehending on what I was trying to do. So,
now Tyler, I mean, it's real hard to be in the second car, but boy, Lance has done an epic job on these restarts tonight. Tyler's got to try to tighten up on these restarts and not give him as big of a gap, make him work for it.
It's trying to predict on when the race leader is going to go, and we've seen Stephen Golden the B sort of the big beneficiary of timing those restarts in what you called was probably the race-winning move, and I dare say you're 100% right on that one. But we'll go back green, 17 laps left to run. We've already completed a lap under green. Lance Ripka, who has led since the drop of the green flag. Spangler goes to the inside on Landis in the middle of 1 and 2. Now Landis to the outside of turn number 3. Spangler goes low. Landis comes right back through the middle, trying to close in on Blake Chapman in a 3-car battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th.
Yeah, good battle in there for Terry Landis. Like I said, he was my surprise podium pick. I'd like to see him get this bottom to keep working. I know he won't give up on it, so we'll see if it'll prevail here as we get another caution here.
Oh, Spangler might have to give up that position too to the 161 machine. So after what they were going to be 4th, Spangler was going to be 4th at the start-finish line. Again, because we did not technically complete that lap, we go back to the last recorded lap, which means Spangler has to go back to 5th. Landis catches a break, gets elevated back to that 4th position. And I'm wondering how long that top side is going to stay like that. Because we've seen it earlier on, Zach, with the top side being able to work. You know, Stephen Golden was able to make it work on the top side, but it fell off. And of course, he had to end up sort of not playing defense, but had to go back to the bottom late in that race.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that track, like we've been talking, it's very similar, but with the little difference is you saw the guys there 2nd and 3rd, Blake and Tyler. They were running real high in 1 and 2, and it wasn't that bad. They gained a little bit on, but when they tried to go back up against the wall there in 3 and 4, it seems like just nothing there unless you want to try running right up against the concrete. But seeing the tracks were a little different, but I like what Lance is doing. He watched Goldner win the race running that middle line in 1 and 2, and he's just putting his car right there in the middle where those guys need to be. He's doing a great job.
All right, here we go back to green. Ripka and Wilson on the front row. Chapman alongside Landis. Spangler and Goldner row 3. And I got to say, if Tyler Wilson, if he actually plays this smart, he needs to time those restarts because from what it looks like, Lance Ripka, he's looking at going right around the same point of a restart, the same mark on a racetrack. Oh no, Spangler! Spangler's off the track. He's outside the top 10 now. He comes back on, back in 12th position. Meanwhile, Landis coming after Blake Chapman for the third and final spot on the podium. And Terry Landis has found his way to position number 3. Zach, I tell you what, you said he could be a surprise pack, and boy, has he surprised us right now.
Man, you know, he's making he's running that dream line in 1 and 2. He's running Goldner's line right there in the middle, and 3 and 4 somehow he's making it work. He's just feathering that throttle and getting right in it as he hits the front stretch. And you know, we may have a winner here tonight out of Terry. He's coming.
Well, take a look at not so much the entry in the middle of the turn, it's the exit on where he's getting, just missing it there. On the exit of turn 4, right through the middle, you see there's a fair bit of moisture on the exit of turn number 4. That's what he's been aiming for to get the run, and that's what he's been able to do to close up into the, or get himself up into the 3rd. Watch it here just there. He's just a little higher on where he needs to be, but right now with 10 to run, 25 down, it's the 125 car of Lance Ripka leading the way from Tyler Wilson, who again closes in now to about 0.2 of a second as Ripka goes to the middle. Wilson goes to the top. Here comes Landis. Here comes Chapman. And your top 4, you can throw a blanket. There's less than a second separating the top 4, but it's Wilson and Landis still having a great battle for 2nd and 3rd spot.
Yeah, hopefully this thing stays green here because you're seeing the top guys finally getting wound up. And, we're seeing 2 competitive race lines. They're running almost identical times and opposite lines. So this is fun to watch.
Fun to watch as Blake Chapman caught the wall going down the back straight on the entry into turn number 3. Have a look at Chad Code. If we can get Chad Code, but I want to keep an eye on this battle for the race lead because here it comes. Watch this 11C machine. Watch him drive right up into the cushion, right up into the barbers. He was a lot higher on the last time by, so if he can make that work, I said it earlier on with 6 to go right now, if he can get that right rear up on the cushion right near that concrete wall, it can be very, very fast. 5 to go at the line, and Lance Ripka in the 125 has led all 30 laps so far. Can he hold on for another 5? Because here comes Tyler Wilson closing in. Boy, he nearly tagged the back of the 125 in the middle of 1 and 2. Ripka and Wilson now going to challenge for the race lead. No, not quite yet. Lance Ripka still holds on with 4 to run.
Yeah, Lance is just getting such good corner exit. He's really shutting it down, going in, and Tyler's doing the opposite. He's really throwing it in there, trying to find tack on the exit, and he's just going for it. You got to applaud him because it's definitely not the line he wants to run, but if he wants to pass Lance, he's got to do something different.
We'll keep an eye on your race leader, but also the man that sits in second spot. We come to 2 laps to go here at the Lucas Oil Raceway, the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades division for the 360 wing sprint cars. There's your race leader on screen. You see the 42 of Tyler Wilson closing in, coming to 1 lap to go. We're set for a barn burner of a finish. 2 and make it 3/10 of a second now as Ripka gets the white flag. Through turn number 1 and 2, he will keep it nice and straight down the back straight away for the final time to the inside. He goes to the outside, goes Wilson off for turn number 4, leading flag to flag at all 35 laps. Lance Ripka comes away with the main event victory. What a way to finish that one. The Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades divisions. Let's take a look at your official results. It's going to be Lance Ripka to lead all 35 laps. Tyler Wilson home in second. Terry Landis, you called a surprise podium. He's done exactly that. He will come home in third. Blake Chapman fourth. Chad Coate rounds out your top 5. Brendan Templeton sixth. Patrick Spangler seventh. Barry Golden, Cody Graham, Jack Clavenger. They make up your top 10. We'll go over the page. Jeffrey Barker in 11th. Jesse Atkinson 12th. 13th is John Hayne, 14th Bob DeGood, 15th Kevin Fry, 16th Gary Taylor, and he was the last car on the lead lap. Joseph Musso in 17th, 4 laps down. Stephen Spees finished unfortunately with just 20 laps completed. He will come home 18th. John Short 19th, Jack Hitt in 20th, and Brandon Dittmer in the 83 to come home in position number 21. But boy, Zach, what a feature race. What an end to that one between Lance Ripka and Dylan Wilson, and Terry Landis getting the podium. But, man, Lance Ripka showed the experience and comes away victorious here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you said the word. I think experience was the main thing for Lance tonight. I think you saw him take it easy those first couple laps, not beat up the right rear tire like he said he did in the B, and he just modeled Steven Goldner in 1 and 2. He ran that middle. He was finding the tack on exit, and it didn't matter how good of a run somebody got on the bottom. If he was staying in the middle, you weren't going by him unless you drifted up into him and wrecked him. He did a great job of taking the line away. Hats off to Lance tonight. He says, he's supposed to be a B driver, but it didn't look like it to me.
Well, he might be a B driver, but he certainly got the W here tonight. But we'll go and chat to your top 3. Home in third place tonight, it's the 161 car of Terry Landis. Terry, congratulations on this third place finish. And boy, Zach called it for you to get maybe a surprise podium. You've done exactly that one, but boy, what a way to cap off the night here tonight.
Yeah, I'll take it any way you can get it, Brett. Being on the podium is awesome for Krite Sim Racing, and also for Galen's Homegrown Popcorn.
I was wondering if you were going to get that in for Blake. Good job there, Terry.
We knew it was coming, but man, I tell you what, this track again pretty similar to what we've seen in the Rebels division. Were you paying attention to what the Rebel guys were doing, and did you learn anything from that one? If you were,
oh yeah, oh my gosh, I was ghosting that race. You got to nowadays, and I learned a little bit. The car worked a little bit better with a push, and then towards the end of the race, it was coming on pretty good and strong there.
Man, how tough is it to put 35 consistent laps together to try and come away with the podium here tonight?
Oh, yeah, this track is one of my worst tracks ever. So to get to a podium in third, I'm counting my blessings.
Terry, congratulations on this third place finish here tonight. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 161 car.
All right, thanks, Brett. Yeah, it's Krite Sim Racing, all them guys back at the shop. They're all a bunch of fun guys to hang out with, and we get some stuff done sometimes. And then Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, because they make the best popcorn, and you can get it on the internet. And if you use the word cart, you get an extra 15% off. And you guys putting it on, and my wife, Judy.
There we go. Terry Landis home in third place. Zach Chapman, you caught up with the runner-up driver of Tyler Wilson.
Hey, what's going on, Macho Man? Zach in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how we doing, fellas?
Hey, man. Well, you had the quickest lap of the race tonight, and it seemed like just at the end you were finally getting the top to work in 3 and 4 when you were going right up against the concrete. But, dude, you had a heck of a race tonight. Let's hear about it.
God, I was just talking to Lance about it, and honestly, props to him. I mean, when you get the lead, you don't even necessarily have to be the fastest guy or run on that ragged edge. You just have to hit those consistent lap times, and he absolutely nailed it. I mean, he ran nice and smooth that whole race and forced us to kind of chase him down and couldn't do it. Man, there was probably 20 of those 35 laps. I felt like I was the fastest guy on the track. Like it was my race to lose, but I'd run 3 or 4 laps that I nailed, and then I'd fall off that little edge and one of those 2 corners and lose all the ground that I gained and have to start over. I'll start all over again. And I didn't have it when I needed it there at the end. But no, that was a heck of a race.
Yeah, man. Well, as well as I do, they're going to help you and they're going to hurt you some nights. But it just seemed like when you still had a little bit of the top left, the caution bug was just biting you guys. There was a span where, you guys were getting them every other lap there for like 4 laps. And just seemed like once you guys finally got the long green flag run, the top disappeared, but you still found a way to keep momentum up. And like I say, you gave us a real good race there, and it was an exciting finish. But congratulations on your second place there. And you got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I guess just to kind of recap that race a smidge more again. It's definitely nerve-wracking wanting to run the top on those restarts there, knowing it's going to take a lap or two to kind of get that speed up, and having to really keep a watch on Blake, who's right behind you on those, because he's coming. If I give him any sort of window, he's probably gone. So yeah, just hats off to all those guys tonight. It was a fun time. Those cautions definitely hurt, but that's the way it goes. I just want to thank all the guys over at Training Wheels. Took some time built to set up for this. Not a ton of time. I just got off work today and kind of dabbled some, and I felt really good with it. So those guys there, all the guys that put this league on, you and Brett for the broadcast. It'll be a fun one to go back and watch. So just thanks for everybody that puts all this on every Monday night. Great job.
Yeah, once again, congrats, Tyler, and everyone at C2C, your second place finisher, Tyler Wilson, tonight.
All right, we'll chat to the man that comes home in first place here tonight, driving the 125 machine. It's Lance Ripka. Lance, congratulations on the win here tonight. How does this one feel after coming home with a podium in the Rebels division?
I personally didn't expect to even be running close to the top 5 in this race, so a win definitely feels great, man.
And what did you learn from the Rebels division that you applied in this one? Because a very similar racetrack, but a totally different racetrack at the same time.
Well, I knew that all 3 lines would be fast. I knew bottom, middle, and top. They were racing in the last race. I knew they were going to be racing in this one, and so I figured, having the lead, I'd run through that middle and try to take away, the bottom line and the top line runs from the guys behind me. So I feel like it helped out. It helped me stay consistent and run consistent laps, and I think that's what was really helping me.
Man, where did you set your car up to run? Because starting up front and to lead what you did, lead all 35 laps. Where did you set your car? What was your game plan for this one?
I was gonna run bottom middle. The top side for me is just too iffy, and you gotta hit it perfect. Where the bottom and the middle, I feel is a little bit more forgiving for errors. So I set her up for the bottom and the middle.
Well, Lance, what was going through your mind there in the final 5 laps, but more so in those final 2 laps when Tyler was starting to catch on the top side?
First of all, I was surprised that I was up front. I mean, there's a lot of good racers, a lot of good sprint car drivers in this series, So just to be up front and to compete with these guys, I was kind of giddy, I was getting a little nervous there with the 5 to go. Started missing my marks a couple of times, but I was able to gather back up and keep it out front.
Well, Lance, congratulations on this victory in the Dylan Westbrook Racing Renegades divisions here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Your Monday Night Madness fall season week number 5 here at Lucas Oil is Lance Ripka. Lance, before we let you go, of course, we'll let you thank everybody involved once again on this 125 machine.
Yeah, of course, I want to give a shout out to the boys at Spartan Racing, VMR Wraps, Ripka Designs, you guys for putting on this show, and all the guys in the background that make it happen.
Lance, well done on the win. We'll see you back next week.
You bet. Have a good.
All right, there we go. Lance Ripka home in position number 1, which will wrap up, of course, your doubleheader, and will wrap up your Monday Night Madness fall season week number 5 here from the Lucas Oil Raceway. Brett Wheeler joined alongside Zach Chapman. And Zach, that will conclude 2 races here on the program for tonight. But boy, what a way to finish up what has been week number 5, and we're only just getting started here for week number 5.
Yeah, kicking it off week 5, great racing. I mean, yeah, got a little caution knee there in the A race so halfway through, but at the end we saw the top guys prevail. You saw Lance really take his experience from the B race and use it there in the A, and he did an excellent job. And can't wait for the rest of the week. And anybody out there listening, don't forget about that charity week coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun with Friday Night Lights, boys.
Certainly as well. Again, still plenty of action here to come this week here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. The Dirt Alliance presenting the Flatline Racing Bodies World Final starting October 17th all the way through to October 23rd. 360 wing sprint cars, pro late models, and 358 modifieds, all live from the dirt track at Charlotte. Driver registration, if you want to race one class, it's $15 a class, or if you want to race 3 classes, it is $30 a class. And for the non-Dirt Alliance drivers, iRating max of 3,000 is $20 for one class or $40 for all 3 classes. But again, that will wrap up everything here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Still plenty of action live this week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, so make sure you check them out on the social media page. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube feed. But for myself, Brett Wheeler, and Zach Chapman, Ultimate Dirt TV will be back live Thursday night with the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Big Blocks and 358 Modifieds. I think we're traveling to the sprint car capital of the world, or in fact we might have been there last week. And nonetheless, we will be back Thursday night here on Ultimate Dirt TV. But for the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Ultimate Dirt TV, I'm Brett Wheeler alongside Zach Chapman signing off saying good night.